Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Reading from the British version of Prabhupada's Lilamrita. Prabhupada, he built a house in which the whole world can live. It's another hot and noisy July evening outside his door. Children are on summer vacation and they stay out on the street until dark. Nearby, a big dog is barking. Row, row, row. That's the best I could get, though, huh? Someone wants to try then. And nearby, the big dog is barking. Row, row, row. Little girls are shrieking, and all this makes lecturing difficult. Yet, despite the distraction of children, traffic, and dogs, he wants the door open. If it is closed, he says, "Why is it closed? People may come in." He continues, undaunted, quoting Sanskrit, holding his audience, and developing his urgent message. While the relentless cacophony rivals his every word. Row, row, row. Eek, yeah. In the distance, a man shouts from his window, "Get out of here, get out of here." Bhaktivedanta Swami asks them not to make noise. Roy, one of the boys in the temple, the man is chasing the kids now. Bhaktivedanta Swami, yes, yes, these children are making a disturbance. Ask them. Chasing Prabhupada, they're making noises. Roy, yes, he's chasing them now. The man chases the children away, but they will be back. You can chase the children off the street, they live there. And the big dog never stops barking. And who can stop the cars? The cars are always there. Prabhupada uses the cars to give an example. When a car momentarily comes into our vision on 2nd Avenue, we certainly don't think that it had no existence before we saw it, or that it ceases to exist once it has passed from view. Similarly, when Krishna goes from this planet to another, it doesn't mean he no longer exists, although it may appear that way. So, Prabhu, you like this analogy, huh? Actually, he has only left our sight. Krishna and his incarnations constantly appear and disappear on innumerable planets throughout the innumerable universes of the material creation. His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, thank you everyone for coming and for your encouragement. Especially, let's call out a big Hari Bol for Ellen and Sylvia. Thank you for joining, Ellen and Sylvia. Hari Bol! So, this was a Prabhupada's Leela, so like the engagement Prabhupada had in his early days in America while he was setting up the Society for Krishna Consciousness, and what ups and downs, turns and all, whatever events that took place and all. And now we are going to study from a book called Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad means like one's all opulences, and for a practitioner, his biggest opulence is like his relationship with Krishna, one's relationship with the Lord. In society as well, we find people cherish so much what they possess, what they have, or their relationships. Likewise, what we possess the glorification of Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, the holy names of Krishna, and that should be like our intoxicated opulence, all transcendental. So the whole Krishna conscious philosophy is actually based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a textbook, a dialogue between Krishna and Arjun. So what he spoke to Arjun. And Bhagavatam is primarily the engagements, activities, the pastimes of Krishna, what he did as such, and what his devotees do or did. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita is what Krishna spoke, and this is about Krishna. So in the morning we study about Krishna, and in the evening we study what Krishna actually spoke. So we'll do a quick invocation and then we go to our reading for today. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So, reading from 6th Canto, Chapter 2, chapter entitled Ajamil, delivered by the Vishnu Dutas, and the text is 23. Vivaksam Abhipreyata Tam Vivaksam Abhipretya Mahapurusha Kinkara Mahapurusha Kinkara Sahasa Pashyatas Tasya Sahasa Pashyatas Tasya Tatrantar Dadhire Tatrantar Dadhire Anagha Tatrantar Dadhire Anagha Tam Vivaksam Abhipretya Mahapurusha Kinkara Sahasa Pashyatas Tasya Tatrantar Dadhire Nagha Tam Vivaksam Abhipretya Mahapurusha Kinkara Sahasa Pashyatas Tasya Tatrantar Dadhire Nagha Tam Vivaksam Abhipretya Mahapurusha Kinkara Sahasa Pashyatas Tasya Tatrantar Dadhire Nagha. Please chant. Tam Vivaksam Abhipretya Mahapurusha Kinkara Sahasa Pashyatas Tasya Tatrantar Dadhire Nagha. Tam Vivaksam Abhipretya महापुरुष किङ्करा सहसा पश्यतस्तस्य तत्रान्तर्तधीरेण तं विवक्षमभिप्रेत्य महापुरुष किङ्कर सहसा पश्यतस्तस्य तत्रान्तर्तधीरेण तं हिम अजाय विवक्षम abhipretya understanding Mahapurusha Kinkara, the order carriers of Lord Vishnu. Sahasa, suddenly. Pasyata tasya, while he looked on. Tatra, there. Antardadhire, disappeared. Anaga, O sinless Maharaj Parikshit. Translation: O sinless Maharaj Parikshit, the order carriers of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vishnu Dutas, saw that Ajamil was attempting to say something, and thus they suddenly disappeared from his presence. Please respond. O sinless Maharaj Parikshit, the order carriers of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Vishnu Dutas, saw that Ajamil was attempting to say something, and thus they suddenly disappeared from his presence. Purport. शास्त्र से पापिष्ठा ये दूराचार देव ब्राह्मण निंदका अपत्य भजनास्तेषां भोजनास्तेषां अकाले. For persons who are papishta, very sinful, and durachara, misbehave, or very unclean in their habits, who are against the existence of God, who disrespect and Brahman and everything, untimely death is sure. It is said that in Kali Yuga, one has a maximum lifetime of 100 years. But as people become degraded, the duration of their lives decreases. Prayana Alpa Ayusha. Because Ajamil was now free from all sinful reactions, his lifetime was extended, even though he was to have died immediately. When the Vishnu Dutas saw Ajamil trying to say something to them, they disappeared to give him a chance to glorify the Supreme Lord. Since all his sinful reactions had been vanquished, he was now prepared to glorify the Lord. Indeed, one cannot glorify the Lord unless one is completely free from all sinful activities. This is confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita 7:28. Yesam tu antagatam karma moha nirmukta bhajante mam vridavrata. Persons who are piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful reactions are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. The Vishnu Dutas made Ajamil aware of devotional service so that he might immediately become fit to return home back to Godhead. To increase his eagerness to glorify the Lord, they disappeared so that he would feel separation in their absence. In that of separation, glorification of the Lord is very intense. विद्यामेक पुरुष पुराण श्री कृष्णरी धारी कृपा बुद्धिय तमः. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatpatamam bande Shri Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Again, warm welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the morning class. In life, there comes lots and many turning points in everyone's life. We just need to have the right vision to understand, is this a turning point? Could this be a turning point? Or any actually juncture or say event, big or small, something could be molded, could be made towards a turning point in our life. And this is what is happening now for Ajamil, a turning point, and previously as well there was a turning point. So I'll try to again recap the past and so far where we are. So there was a man called by the name Ajamil. And he was a very pious, um, uh, saintly person, priestly person. He was born in a very pious priestly family. His parents were very adherent to following of scriptural rules, regulations, practices, services, doing worship, and so was he. And he was nicely married with some children. So was living in a good family atmosphere where there were good adherents to following morality and principles and worship. And once upon a time, so it happened once upon a time. This once upon a time is quite interesting, isn't it? So once upon a time, Ajamil, he went to the woods to fetch some forest to get some wood and all for his worship and some fire sacrifice ceremony and things like that. As he was on his own in the woods and the forest, getting some woods and all, he happened to come across, he saw a prostitute engaged in gross sensual activities with another man. And that vision really shook him up. He wasn't wanting or he wasn't intending or he wasn't expecting as such, but then when he saw a prostitute embracing another man and they both having engaged in sensuality, he got a bit disturbs him. And then upon his return, he came back home. He came back home with the, what did he bring back with him in the house? He brought back the woods. He brought back the branches and all, some possibly some herbs and all. And more importantly, he brought back the impression of what he saw, men and women engaging in physical sensual activity. So he brought back that impression with him. Tremendous learnings, uncountable, innumerable learnings in each and every pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam. Likewise for us, when we go out streets or wherever, say high streets or low streets, wherever we go and all, we meet people with so many things. And many times, undoubtedly, we carry some impressions with us as well. We bring some impressions with us as well, which we don't want. But what to do? Like people at work, in offices, jobs, and all, they would sometimes bring the office itself to the house. Well, now there's the option to work from home ways like that way, or those in the work as well. If there's some conflict between family life or something, it will affect. So to continue, Ajamil was quite perturbed by that scene, and that had a strong impression in his mind, and he was contemplating on it. He was started contemplating. This contemplation is a lethal thing actually, in the sense what we contemplate on. If we contemplate on matter, we will be finding ourselves tormented every now and then. Because matter cannot saturate us, spiritual beings. Matter or material activities, material thought process, anything cannot saturate us. And on the other side, if we contemplate on the spirit, if we contemplate on the spirit, on spiritual qualities, like compassion, kindness, morality, virtue, truthfulness, and all, then we'll find a lot of peace. Then we'll surely find a lot of peace. So Ajamil started contemplating on that activity, what he saw. And so much so, he was contemplating, or then there was a rush of hidden desires and all. So much so that he chucked his parents out of the house. He left his wife, his very gentle, kind, loving, caring wife and children. He left, he abandoned them, and he went on with that prostitute, having a relationship with her. He invited her in the house. He made rooms and engagements, arrangements, everything for her in the house. And he started living with her. Such is the power of thought. Even though he was perhaps slightly aware that, okay, this is not a good act, what I'm going to do, this isn't really helping me. Consciously within ourselves, there was some voice coming about. But the power of, say, thought translating into desires and that intensity to chase the desires to follow his heart turned out very dangerous for him. What do they say in society? Like in India, they say in Hindi, "Man ki suno," and everyone promotes like, "Okay, whatever your mind says, do it. And if your mind says this, then yes, then you would find peace and that is what you are listen to your mind." Something like that. Is there a follow your heart? Haribol. Yeah, follow your heart. Is there a fault in following one's heart? Yeah, that's the only fault. If the heart is not purified and if we are followed by the heart, it's going to be turbulence then. So there's no wrong in following your heart. No, everyone who is a resident in the community in Karuna Bhavan, Krishna Eco Farm, are following their heart, have been following their heart, and none, I think, so far, none has been brought here at gunpoint. So everyone in here is following their heart, and the after effect can be seen. After effect, we have some in their bodily age of 60 years who are jumping up and down, so much so that I feel embarrassed. And the energy they carry, the enthusiasm they carry, and with heart they so dedicated in their services. So certainly there's nothing wrong in following one's heart or mind, provided the heart or mind is purified or not. And for that, introspection, a bit of introspection is needed, a bit of self-time, a bit of thinking is needed. How much do we value ourselves? Where is life heading me? What do I want in life? Like they say, some people find success, some people find peace in success. Some people find peace in success, and some people, very few, find success in peace. Now it is up to us. The Krishna consciousness teaches us to be rare, to be rare. We all want to be rare. We all are rare as well. We all are very unique. So the majority of the world, more than 90%, and I'm being very liberal here in saying more than 90%. It's actually even more than 95%. Find peace in what? Success. And what is the definition of success? Somewhere where there is the possession of woman, wealth, and wine. where I understand, yes, I'm in control, I possess this, I have this, I own this and all, and that's success. Typical worldly life. Say, and others, very few though, but still others find success in peace, peace of mind, peace of heart. Ajamil here, he got agitated, he got affected. He couldn't maintain that peace of mind, peace of heart. So then he allowed, he made room, he made all those arrangements for staying with the prostitute and shunned his family, gentle wife, loving, caring, everything. Even just say similar like Ravana, his wife Mandodari gave her such good counsel and all that abandon Sita. Am I not good enough? Am I not serving you nicely? What you tell me, I will try bring what you like, but abandon Sita. But such is the power of lust as well. Once one becomes blind, so Ajamil couldn't tolerate, and he allowed. And then what happened? He lost all his priestly culture. He lost all his saintly Brahminical culture. And then what did he do? He engaged himself in what? Robbing, in cheating, in some crime, criminal activities, and things like that. And with this lady, he had 10 sons, 10 children. And the last child was called Narayan. And how was he named? Narayan was there were some saintly people had arrived in the town where he was living, in the village where he was living. Kanyakubj, Kannauj, the place is still there in India. It's called Kannauj. So I believe, yeah. So some saintly people had arrived in his village there, and see, they saw in a field some boys playing around. So they asked those boys that we want to have a couple of nights stay in the village. Can you help us with any gentleman's house? Can you point us to any gentleman's house where we can stay for a couple of nights, do our services and all, and also preach the glory, say, or at least like where we can stay for a couple of nights. So young boys, being young boys, they pointed that, oh yeah, sure, very good timing. We will point you to the most respectable and gentleman and person in the whole of this village and town, state, county, and all. So if you go, take the first left, and then from the first roundabout, first right exit, and then house number 33, that's Ajamil's house. You will find him there. Okay, fine. They went listening to the voice. But when they went in, they could see the vibes, they could read the energy, they could read the aura, the vibes in the house, what is going around. And they felt, okay, something seems to be awkward. And Ajamil was not there when the guest arrived. Possibly he could have gone for some kidnapping or ransom money or something. So, but the saintly people, they could read the aura. Again, this is also a thing. So society, they see like, okay, saintly people, they are good for nothing. Generally speaking, again, by and large, say, society wonders or believes that saintly persons, they are like dropouts, or they are good for nothing as such. But these saintly people, they are very intelligent, they are very sharp, and they can read the person's mind, they can read his energy or thought process and aura and vibes, and they can also help the person immensely. And the good quality, the cherishable quality of any saintly person is that he does not take insult upon himself. He doesn't get affected by insults. Such a huge quality it is to imbibe. And when any credit is given, he doesn't keep it with himself. He passes it to the teachers, he passes it to the Lord. Otherwise, it will be very heavy if we keep the credits to ourselves, not pass it on. Then there will be a blockage. Then future creations will not be able to credits will not come up. Shishikhoran Mayapur Sashiki. So Ajamil was not there, and the saintly persons, they always want to do good. They always want to do something, do good. So the saintly persons, they Shishikhoran Mayapur Sashiki. So the saintly persons, they advised Ajamil's wife or and that lady that oh, you're soon going to be having a child. Have you decided on a name for the child? She said no. Okay. She said, well, you have come. If you want to give a name, please give us a name, please. So he said, yes, we would like to. So call the child Narayan. Narayan. And Narayan is another name for Krishna. So they named the child Narayan, and then saintly person, they moved on, they went on. And Ajamil started calling Narayan, Narayan, the child. He was playing with his son here and there, and he was repeatedly calling out Narayan. Narayan, as in, he was chanting the names of Krishna. And came about, time came about for him to exit, to leave the world. Time came about for him. And so, Yamadutas, the messengers of the Lord of Death, three personalities, they arrived and they wanted to snatch the soul out of Ajamil or the life and take him for punishment, because he had been so wrong, so immoral, so deviated. And towards right at that point, right at that macrosecond level, when they appeared and arrived, and Ajamil was in a panic state, complete panic state. And Ajamil was in a complete panic state because he couldn't set an alarm in his schedule, in his diary, okay, that they would be coming, and all of a sudden they arrived. But anyway, Ajamil was in a complete panic state when the messengers of the Lord of Death arrived. And in that panic state, everyone takes shelter. Has it happened to someone when, say, suddenly, if I'm coming down the stairs and I strip a bit, people in different languages, different cultures say different things. Like generally, in India, they will call out mother. Naturally, or sort of. People here also like call out something, right? Maybe Jesus, yeah. Jesus, or oh my gosh, or something like that, right? So naturally, Ajamil called out what? Narayan. Narayan. Okay, let's say together perhaps. What did Ajamil call out naturally? Narayan. Narayan. Naturally, because he had that affection for his child, he was constantly thinking of his child and all. He was seeking shelter within his child. Okay, Narayan help. And when he called out Narayan, his devotional service, his devotional love for Krishna, whatever he had done to whatever extent, got ignited. So at that point in time, arrived exactly same time arrived the messengers of the Lord of the Lord Vishnu, called as Vishnu Dutas. They arrived and they had a dialogue. So the Vishnu Dutas then had a dialogue with the Yamadutas, the Lord of the messengers of Lord Vishnu had a dialogue with the messengers of the Lord of Death. That how come the Vishnu Dutas say, how come you are taking this saintly person? Have you not been trained? Didn't you not attend the morning programs, the classes, or was not any Bhakta program available for you? What are you doing? He's such a saintly person. How dare you touch him? So imagine the Scotland police comes and someone's, they put this person in the back seat of the car, handcuffed and everything. And imagine in front like of everyone, within the vision of the police person, the handcuffs is all everything taken off. No, unlock him. Okay, the police person are unlocking and okay, release him now. So when Vishnu Dutas arrived, Ajamil was saved, and there was a very fascinating dialogue on the scriptural message of the scriptures, on the essence of the scriptures and all. And then Ajamil was saved, And now we come to our shloka for today. So this is the text for today. And seeing this, the Vishnu Dutas, they suddenly disappeared. They suddenly disappeared because they had played their part, and so fascinating for Rajamil, bless him, such a great fortune that he was able to listen to both the sides. What the messengers of the Lord of Death were speaking was also not immoral, no? They were also quoting morality only from the basis of scriptures and all. But they were unaware of transcendental morality. They were unaware of transcendental morality. And this world is stuck up in duality, good and bad, morality and immorality. And Srimad Bhagavatam is all transcendental morality. So they spoke on transcendental morality. And this dialogue, good dialogue amongst the two. And even the messengers of the Lord of that young dutas, it wasn't that they were not agreeing or they were very much say confused or say, we'll see, read further how the pastime goes on and all. But Vishnu dutas, then they suddenly disappeared from that place. And see, in one interesting thing, lots of interesting things. Time is always short. There's this in the purport. It says for the Sanskrit shloka, it says untimely death is sure. Untimely death is sure. Can anyone claim in this world or say, okay, yeah, that person had a timely death? What does untimely death mean, and what does timely death mean? Say, suppose someone lives 90 plus. Can it be called, okay, yeah, this was a good timely death? Yes, Father Pro.
I guess for anyone who's not a devotee, then the death is untimely because they still have attachments. So no matter how long they live or how great the opportunities in this world, people see it, well, he died very peacefully, surrounded by all his family and friends, and but you guys still just he's further in that attachment of continuing on the next stage. He's really only going to make him the better. Just pass away quicker than a car crash.
Exactly. So someone who hasn't been blessed with devotion service or devotee association, or someone who hasn't taken the devotee association, doesn't matter if one has lived for 90 plus and all, is all untimely only. It will be untimely until and unless transcendental awakening has taken place. Until and unless spiritual awakening has taken place. And once spiritual awakening takes place, transcendental awakening takes place, and a stability is attained. A stability, as in coming to a platform of nishta, the various stages in the process of devotional service. We all are in our journey, different stages. So coming to a platform of nishta conviction, there is some stability. And then having a good interest, a real good proper interest in the practice of loving devotional service. So once transcendental spiritual awakening is established and settled or a bit stabilized, then yes, one is coming out of this consciousness of thought process of timely or untimely. And for one who has awakened, there is no death as such for him. It's just a change of body for him. Rather, he's for a proper awakened person, huh, he wants to die, or he prays for that, or he dies. But what? To live for eternity. So Vaishnavas do not live do not die, do not live to die. So we are not just living, okay, one day merge with earth and all. No. And we contributed so much to the economy, we contributed so much to the government, we paid our taxes very nicely. We got solar panels in our house, by the way, and all, and we left this much for the grandchildren. No, Vaishnava doesn't live to die. That's such a low mentality, low thought process. I mean, is this what is life all about? Living to die? Vaishnavas die to live eternally in the sound vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And this is how life has to be molded. This is how life is given to be molded. See, everything is getting molded. This chair, plastic chair, was it like this? No. Someone who knew who was trained, who had the skill, molded and made it a chair like this. This table, it wasn't like this. Likewise, we have to mold ourselves. On our part, we have to make the effort and we have to be in the company of spiritually awakened people. And why is it important to be in the company of spiritually awakened people? To begin with, they are genuine or they should be genuine. Another, they understand the difference between matter and spirit. So it is going to be wholesome. Okay, maybe on this note, I will give you peace. And any question or comment or clarifications, please?
We have one comment.
Sure.